us in studio this morning. And Sheriff, I saw the story about the jail getting, I don't know if facelift is the right word, but there's going to be some improvements into the jail. So I said, hey, good time to get the sheriff in. We can talk about that, the jail, and much more going on. So give us an update on where we are with the jail.
So we're changing Unit 1. It's a unit that holds 4 pods, roughly 98 inmates, and we're doing the entire unit is being done for mental health and medical detox, suicide precautions. Those individuals will all be housed in that location, so it makes it a little bit easier for care for them, for the proper care. And so we've just finished, this week, we're finishing up a HVAC system for that particular unit. That renovation has been going on now for almost 4 years, 2 years longer than it should, but it's getting close to wrapping up. So as soon as it's done and we get some painting done, I'm waiting on the county to finish up the contract for the painting. We'll get it done, and we'll get all those people moved into that area, and so that they can get better care. The other thing that we're doing is we're working with the state right now. I'm applying for a grant. We're looking at somewhere around maybe $4 million to build onto our intake area to increase the size and improve the efficiency, and just all the way around make it a better process for not only local law enforcement as they bring in individuals, but also for the people working in intake, so that we can have medical and mental health care down there, keeping a closer eye on the people that are coming in. Many of the people that are arrested and brought into the jail have been using drugs, and we struggle with the possibility of overdose during that time that they're there. And it's not designed for real close supervision. And so having a new renovation and increasing the size of it and reallocating some areas is going to be a very positive opportunity, not just for the sheriff's office and the people coming in, but for all of our local law enforcement as well.
Yeah, I agree, and let's get into that a little bit because that's important. You've started this initiative a year or so ago, where you wanted to separate those with real mental health needs. And separate might not be the right word. I think it's getting the proper care and getting them going down the right road, where for many, many years they were lumped in with everyone else and might not be getting the utmost, the upfront, and the real personal care that they need for their type of rehabilitation.
That's true. The jail is broken up into 6 different zones, and each area is separate from the other, and so we house people all through the jail. So it's not a concise type of a format. And so with people peppered all over the jail, it just makes it more difficult for medical and mental health to get around to see all the different people that they need to see. So taking the ones that need the closest care and putting them all in one location is a better way, in my opinion. It's a better way for them to get the medical care that they need, and those that are suffering from a higher degree of mental illness, having mental health right there on the unit with them all the time just gives them closer care more often, and quite honestly, I think that it gives them a better diagnosis as well.
With us is Summit County Sheriff Kandy Fatheree, and it's probably, I am not an officer, but I imagine it's a stress reliever as well for some of the officers who might not be at the utmost trained in that area, where they're trained maybe to take care of the violent criminals. And in the mental health, it's a different type of need. Is that true?
It's absolutely a different type of need, and it takes a special person to be able to interact with some of the people that we have in our jail that have severe mental illness. We are trained with some to address some issues.
Sure.
But we're not. We're law enforcement.
Right.
We're there for safety and security. We are not there for treatment. We aren't. So that's why we have mental illness or mental health coordinators and medical coordinators there to take care of that aspect of it. I think that moving some of these people into one area is going to relieve some stress from my deputies because they these individuals require more attention, and when you're giving attention to them, you're not paying attention to others, and sometimes bad things happen. And so it's I think that all the way around it'll be better care for the individuals that need it, closer supervision for the other individuals that we need to keep a closer eye on, less stress for my staff, and overall better outcomes for everyone.
Yeah, I agree. Summit County Sheriff Kandy Fatheree with us. I think it was 2013. Maybe I could be off a year or two there. A little bit of expansion and some bed expansion in that area.
Mhm.
Where are you with beds right now for those in need? Are you okay? Are you at the utmost? Talk to us about where you are there.
So the jail, if we single bunk, the jail holds 571 inmates. And we double bunked back in, as you said, back in 2010, 11, 12, 13, somewhere around in through
Yeah.
there, we added double bunks. And that double bunking took us up to 791 inmates. The problem that we have today is we may lose that double bunk variance. It's happening across the state.
Because of.
Because sometimes when you have violent people that don't get along with other people, and then you put two of them in the same room together, they occasionally have a tendency to assault one another.
Okay.
And because assaults are going up, inmate on inmate assaults across the county, not just the county but the state is looking very closely at reducing and taking it back to single bunking. So if we lose that variance, we have been holding around 550 to 600 inmates on average for the last several years. If we lose the variance, it's going to place some stress on the way that we handle everything in the jail. Now, the reason why we've been able to keep the inmate population down is because I worked with the Common Police Court judges when I first got into office back in 2021, and we created a pathway for nonviolent criminals to those charged with nonviolent crimes to be able to go to rehabilitation services rather than holding them in the jail. So they're still incarcerated or detained, but they're detained in facilities that are designed to help them with most of them are addiction problems. So currently, the majority of the people that we hold in our jail are people charged with violent crimes, domestic violence, stalking, murder, rape, assault, aggravated assault, kidnapping, those kinds of things. So the people who need to be there are actually there. But of the people that are there, we're finding out that 57% of them have some sort of a mental health issue. And so we're trying to find ways to keep everybody safe, address the mental health issues, and address the addiction issues that are coming in. Because almost everybody coming in is going through detox. And detox is, it's not pretty, whether it's alcohol or drugs. So it's placing more of a strain on our medical, our mental health staff, as well as our deputy staff.
I want to get back to the detox and the drug use that you're seeing at the Summit County Sheriff's Office. With us in studio is Summit County Sheriff Kandy Fatheree. And I guess in listening to your explanation about the violence and can't double bunk, and you're seeing a lot of people going back to the single bunk because of the violence, just from me looking from the outside in, I'll say, okay, could they do a hybrid version? Could they have those with the mental health issues still be double bunked, and then the more violent ones being the single bunked? Or is that just too easy to look at from my perspective?
Well, it makes sense. We're hoping that we'll be able to work with the inspectors and keep some of those double bunks.
Oh, okay.
I think, especially people that are in suicide gowns, you've got a mental health issue. You're thinking about self harm, and then we put you in a we strip you, put you in a gown, and then we put you in a cell all by yourself. I think that if we could put those that are looking at suicide, if we could double bunk them because they have nothing else, neither person would have anything else that would cause them to be able to commit suicide. So I'm hoping that maybe double bunking would be a better way to handle suicide precautions. I don't. We can't do that though with detox because we have to have low bunks for detox because we don't need them falling
Yeah.
out of a top bunk.
It's a precarious spot, that's for sure. Let's go back for the last 4 or 5 years. All of us have spent a lot of time talking about viruses and COVID and protection and security and all that type of thing. But what was there before COVID sounds like it still exists in Summit County, and that's opioid drugs, and that's drug abuse going on in Summit County. You're the sheriff in Summit County. Talk to us about what you are seeing in this realm.
Well, the drugs are coming in from Mexico, and they're coming in from Mexican cartels. And we do have a major problem here in Ohio and Summit County because of our roadways and some of the cartel issues. We have a lot of drugs that are coming in. The concern now on a national level is that the cartels are beginning to put fentanyl in the vaping mechanisms, and we're very concerned about kids, young kids, because it's kind of cool to vape. Well, we're hoping that they stay away from it because they're putting the fentanyl in the vaping, and we're really worried about overdosing children. I think that the opioid issue or the fentanyl issue continues to be a major problem, and it continues to evolve, and they're putting it in everything. And they're adding it to marijuana, they're adding it to pills that they're manufacturing in the jungles. So it's still a major issue, as not just in Summit County, but across the nation. And until we are able to get a good grip on what's coming across our borders and try to slow down the drug, the drug problem, we're going to continue to have problems. And I don't see the opioid epidemic going away. I estimate it's going to be at least another 10 to 15 years before we start seeing a really positive decrease in the opioid challenges that we're having. I will say that the Narcan being everywhere is saving lives, but obviously it's still not saving enough lives. In 2023, we had over 200 overdoses in our county, and that's still 200 people that are loved by someone. And so we've got to do something.
Yeah, Kandy Fatheree with us, Summit County Sheriff. There was one other thing I had on my list, and it's a little bit off that road a little bit, but I wanted to get it on as we have a couple of minutes left together. Is I've been reporting and talking a little bit on this show about these burglary rings that we've seen going on around the country when these stars, and it's been athletes and entertainers, I don't know how many of them we have in Summit County, but when they go away, these burglary rings, which are coming up from South America, have been going to these houses. I bring it up to you because we're coming upon the season where people are going to start going away. They use social media. They're going out of town for this and that type of thing. And I thought as a sheriff, maybe you could send some word of caution out about protecting your home, and if you are seeing some of these localized burglary rings as well.
Yeah, we are seeing localized burglary rings, and our investigators working with Akron as well as many of the other police agencies, we are all working together to address those issues. The group that hit
Burrow.
Joe Burrow, they just arrested them. The sheriff down in Hamilton County, Charmaine McGuffey, she put a task force together, and they went after them. They tracked them all across the country. So one of the things that I think that we can help people with is, first of all, lock your vehicles when they're in your car, in your driveways. lock your garage and the entrances to your garage and your house. A lot of people, um, they have a door to their house from the garage and they never lock that. You really need to lock that as well, because if they gain entrance into your garage because they've got these new techniques and these new mechanisms that they can just go and hit a frequency and your garage door goes up, now they've gained entrance into your home. And when you go on vacation, the other thing is, don't post anything until after you come back. Don't let people know that you're out of town. When you do go out of town, contact your local law enforcement and let them know that you're going on vacation. Many local law enforcement, for free, will do house checks for you. I know the sheriff's office does in the city of Greene, Coventry, Northfield Center, and Twinsburg Township. Those are the areas that we patrol, but many police agencies do the same thing. So contact them, let them know that you're going to be out of town and how long you're going to be out of town. Also, let your neighbors know, your immediate neighbors, if you're close to them. Let them know as well. Have with Ring cameras and things like that, they're so inexpensive. If you can afford it, you need to have a camera in your garage that faces the door that enters into your home, so that you can know if somebody is entering your home while you're away, and automatically contact law enforcement if you see that. In addition to that, there's all these security agencies that you can also purchase. And I think that there's a lot of those things that you can do to help to keep yourself safe. Make sure your windows are locked. Don't put things out on social media till you come back. Lock your car, lock your house, and if possible, put cameras around every aspect of it so you know what's going on.
Technology has really helped us a lot, and I think a lot of us, as we've gotten up there, we remember the days of security when, one, it was expensive and you just didn't know how to do it. But with technology in today's world, it's really a matter of a few hours of putting together a simplistic system of cameras that you can have set up that go right to your phone.
Absolutely, and it's not as expensive as it used to be, and
Right.
it's certainly worth it for the peace of mind as well.
I agree. Candy, thanks for coming in. Good stuff. Always appreciate you coming in and visiting with us on so many topics again this morning. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Summit County Sheriff Kandy Fatheree with us live in studio.